audio in it.
I'm always gonna record a video, so try not to.
If you hear me talking, that's why. He did that last time. I just cut it out. It was fine. So, surprisingly, it's been a month and not 8 months. So frankly, that's new. Such a great upload schedule I have and always have had. But anyways, I have a lens to review today. Very exciting. It is the Canon EFS 24mm prime Pancake lens. And first of all, this is a small boy. It's called a Pancake lens for a reason. It's not a waffle lens. It's not a French toast lens, but it's not a crepe lens either. It's like an American pancake lens, but its size does make it can look silly on a lot of decently sized cameras, but on a camera like the Canon SL1, they're like two peas in a pod. They are perfect together. I need two hands. Empty. It's chef's kiss. I don't know either. So yeah, this is a very small lens, but that's the thing that I like about it. It's really easy to carry around. You can just throw it in your bag. You don't have to think about it. It's not really that heavy either. It's very travel friendly. Canon describes it as very versatile, and I would agree. It's 24mm, and it's a prime lens, obviously, because a pancake lens, but it is APS-C only, so you cannot use it on full frame cameras. And also, if you want to be able to tell that it's APS-C only, there's a white dot on the lens, and if it has that white dot, then that's what you align it with when you put it on the camera, which is fine for me because my only two cameras are APS-C. That works for me. But if you have a full frame camera that you want to use this with, or your only camera is a full frame camera, this just isn't going to work. Now, because APS-C does crop whatever focal length you have on your lens by 1.6 times, then this is actually going to end up being a 36mm focal range versus 24mm. And I honestly really like that. I think that's kind of in the range of wide but not too wide, which does make it very versatile. And you can get in close and have a pretty shallow depth of field, even though it does only go down to f2.8 versus I've seen lenses that go down to f1.4, even 1.2 if you get really expensive. Another main feature of this lens is that it's an STM lens, which basically just means, if you don't know, autofocus. This is not a camera. This is a lens. This lens does have pretty good autofocus. I mean, I'm not yet necessarily used to it because I've had lenses that either are really bad at autofocus or they just don't have it at all. Cameras have autofocus systems, as do the lenses, but I think this pretty good autofocus system on the lens with my average SL1 autofocusing works pretty well together. And at some points where I can rely on it, say when I'm shooting a video, it doesn't really have to hunt. What it does is it just stops and contemplates, and then it figures out what it wants to focus on. But as for autofocus, it is honestly pretty good. So much to the point where, like, if I just don't feel like manual focusing, or like I just can't get manual focus, then I can use autofocus. Sometimes autofocus just doesn't want to work as it does. And like you just need a very specific like portion on a weird angle in focus, and it just doesn't know that that's what you want. So that's good. That's where manual focus is good. And as far as price goes, pretty much everywhere I found was $130. Like if you get it new, it's $130. I did have a Yongnuo 35mm lens, and it broke on me after like, I don't know, a year. It was just cheap Chinese plastic, because I mean, it was like $30-$50. It was really, really cheap. But I think something like this, it's just a bit higher quality, and it's gonna last you longer. I mean, it's not super expensive as far as lenses can go. Easily like 800, thousands for a good lens. I mean, for what it is, it's honestly pretty affordable. This is from 2014, I think November, but yeah. So it's kind of old, not really. I mean, I feel like I kind of give a positive review to everything, and I always recommend it, but I do recommend this, maybe just because I don't want to buy something that I'm gonna regret. I've used it since June when we got it, and it's treated me well. Pretty much whenever I've been using a camera, I've been using this lens. It's very versatile and just good for a lot of things, which is what versatile means. I'm so good at this. And it has pretty good autofocus, and it's pretty inexpensive. So I think with that, that's the review. So anyway, yeah, I do recommend getting this. So bye, and I'll see you with another review. Woohoo, new tech.